when it comes to this department dealing with the building, I was in Marsabit. The court station is not built, but these staff will come 3 times in a quarter, yet there is no construction going on. And the end result is that per diem is being paid. There is a clerks of work in Isiolo who can come and see if there is any damage to the structure and report. So I will have to deal with these management issues so that the construction of the courts does not become an avenue for people to be dotting around the country in the name of inspecting the courts, yet there is nothing going on.
So what do you think is the problem? Because that was my question, that you had mentioned earlier that you are wondering why you plant a court in Isiolo and leave Meru, that is very busy, or do Kwale and leave Mombasa. What do you think is the problem? What is the problem here? And how will you bring in strategic interventions to cure this problem?
In fact, those who made the decision, it's not that they were influenced by anything. I don't think anybody can say he was influenced to take a court to Kwale instead of Mombasa because I think they gave the list to the World Bank and the World Bank gave the okay. But how do you tackle the problem? I think you have to understand, as an insider, I know where a court is needed and to what extent. For instance, you have a very huge magistrate courts. Hamisi is a story building. Where Madam Commissioner was a story building, although a smaller one. But you go to a high court in Kakamega, which was just an old court. So it's to know, first and foremost, I have to know. I can't say that I know each and everything, but you have to know the priorities. Yes. And if it's a government project, you have the leeway to say, build it here. This is the priority area. So to come back to the question is, that is a weakness in the judiciary. We are happy to say there is this court in Engineer. It's a big court, but you go to Lamu, there is no high court.
So what are specific interventions that you'll do? You've told us that, to me I interpret like you are saying there is no proper planning. When you come in June as a CJ, what are you going to put in place? Because it is not the building in Sholo or Kwale, but how does it, what is the decision-making process? What will you do differently to ensure that all these things are done and they are completed in time and there are no time overruns or cost overruns?
So my strategy, I believe that's what Commissioner would like to see differently. You start with mapping.
Yes.
You map the whole country. The stations with high court and the nature of the court itself, is it sufficient? Once you have mapped, and also the volume. As I say, you don't want to take a big structure and yet cases are trickling in, and yet there are places where they are busy and there is no facility. So I'll start with mapping in the key strategic areas where we need a court. Mm-hmm. So if a donor comes and say, I want to build a court, instead of having a very voluminous court in Turkana, and yet I want to have maybe a court of appeal in Kitale or Eldoret, there is the Eldoret court up to now, there is a problem in Eldoret. In fact, the Isiolo one, had it been built in Eldoret, would have been good, proper planning. So you are right, the planning is not proper. And it's not that people are being induced to go there, but it's just that aspect of you as the leader, knowing that between this station and that station, where are these resources required more? Because a court is resources, infrastructure. So you take it where the need is real. Although to some extent, you can say there are some areas which are marginalized, which are not benefited from the resources. You can do that. So I'll start with mapping the area, not only physical infrastructure as well as the volume of the cases, and see how to diversify and place the resources effectively.
Thank you very much. My second question is, let us go now out global. Current affairs, perhaps issues international. There is this pandemic that has come in a big way, in fact creating havoc across the world, to the extent now that it has become even a diplomatic row. And to the extent now that there are a lot of tension across the world, that even United Nations Security Council have passed a resolution to call for a global a ceasefire, because countries are almost fighting, and it's as a result of this pandemic. Could you please tell us briefly 2, 3, 4 diplomatic tensions across the world that has arisen as a result of COVID-19?
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, now we are dealing with globalization. The world has become a small marketplace. We have COVID. The developed world is developing their own ways of dealing with it through the vaccines. Nationalism is coming in, which is taking away globalization. We said we are globalized. If I need a vaccine from America, I should get it. But they will tell you, wait first until we vaccinate our own citizens. So this is a pandemic, and everybody is justified to use all manner of tactics to deal with the problem. I've seen the head of World Health Organization saying that this nationalization of the vaccine is causing problems because it's like it's ours, and we don't want to give it out until we are satisfied that we have reduced our numbers. So this is a problem.
Yes.
And it's my views, because I don't think the CJ of Kenya can sort out these problems. Even the Minister for Health cannot. But my view would be to follow the World Health Organization instructions, the Ministry of Health instructions. Wear your mask to minimize the risk, you sanitize, you keep distance, and it is a problem because economies are shrinking instead of expanding. There is the tug of war. You can see Kenya has withdrawn the Kenya Airways from going to the UK. America has given guidelines that don't go to Kenya because of ABCD. We are not the only ones affected. Other countries are in the red list. So now it is turning to we as Kenyans against any other country. We have had our own rift with our neighbors who didn't believe that there was COVID. So, Commissioner, it's not a closed answer question. It's
yeah. Very well, you have answered. You have answered very well. My final question is on the role of the CJ. You know, as you are coming into that office, I hope you are aware that you will be diplomat number 1 in judiciary. You will be also fundraiser number 1, and you even mentioned Willy Mutunga, who, when he was around here, you even stated that there was money, and you were wondering why we don't have money now. It was because of his fundraising skills. Could you tell us, number 1, as a diplomat, number one, what networks do you have, or what networks are you going to activate internationally that will position judiciary, Kenya's judiciary, in a global map that will also benefit judiciary in enriching its jurisprudence? That's number one as a diplomat. Number two, which institutions, development partners, etc., are you going to engage a network so that besides getting money from Treasury, as Commissioner Gishoi was engaging you on, we can also get money from elsewhere. We get another stream of resources that can also help judiciary to grow in terms of infrastructure and also even training. So could you tell us the two?
Okay, as diplomat number one, I don't want to tell you that as I sit here, there are 2 or 3 institutions I can go and knock, and finances are being unlocked. I think I will be lying if I were to say that. But as I've been in the judiciary, we have had development partners, IDLO, embassies have been supporting the judiciary, the World Bank has been supporting the judiciary. I'm aware there is a facility to fast track from the World Bank which has not been activated to fast track this digitization, the typing of the proceedings in form of recordings.
Yes.
It has not yet taken effect. So if I become that diplomat number one, instead of relying on the judiciary, it's not that I want to tell you that I will open the floodgate of finances, but it will be a matter of trying to go and get more resources instead of relying from one stream, and which has been done, and the developing partners are there to assist. We have the European Union, they are there. You have to go and ask and see what programs you have, because you don't want to go and just say, can you assist us with ABCD? We have libraries here which don't have books, or even an e-library where we can interact and have the books sent online, and the library becomes functional for each and every court. So you have to go and look for these resources, and the development partners are there. We have different embassies represented in these countries. You have to go there. We have the Association of the Commonwealth. You can go there and explain your needs. It's a matter of not borrowing, but pleading that can you assist?
Very well.
So yes.
Very well. Thank you. You have answered. Finally, or final now, is I've gone through your CV and all your documentation. Have not seen anywhere that you've indicated that you have participated in any community service. So my question is, could you please explain to us your philosophy of public involvement and perhaps practice for giving your time to community service anywhere, back home, in Nairobi, wherever you have worked?
Okay, I don't believe in writing a long CV to the extent of making it boring. I've seen CVs, you attend a one-day seminar, you write an article in The Nation, you write, you do this, you write. It's not that I've been operating as an island. Yes. When I started practicing, I was a board member of my former school, Msambweni. That time it was a Harambee school. So I was a board member there until I joined the judiciary. So for almost 7-8 years, I was a board member and I served the community. I was a board member of Matuga Secondary School. It's a girls' school. I served there the community. As an advocate, I dealt with a lot of pro bono pro bono work. The murder cases, I handled them pro bono. Being a local advocate who had just opened his office near his county, I've dealt with a lot of free services to the Wananchi. I've attended so many Harambes, in fact, as a guest of honor, to contribute to these schools.
Yes.
And build them. I've sponsored many students. You know, as a Muslim, you don't want to be you don't want to be seen that you are beating your trumpet. I've done some of those things become personal.
Very well.
You do, but you keep quiet.
You've answered. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, thank you very much, Judge. And just once more follow-up question as we conclude, Honorable Judge. And unless I didn't hear you properly, Judge, you said that you don't believe in resource-oriented leadership. If I heard right, maybe explain to us why, because I thought we are all advocating for resource-oriented leadership.
Okay, the leadership comes in many forms. So there is the leader who wants the results. I want judgments to be delivered. Those are the results. But you don't care whether this judicial officer has the facilities to deliver those judgments. So don't concentrate so much on the results. It's not that we don't want the results. We want the results. But can you also be a leader who ensures that the results are produced through certain processes which enable the producer of those results to produce them? So there is that leader who wants profit at the end of the year. Everybody wants that. But if now you take the whole blood out of, you suck the whole blood out of your employees just because you want the results, I think the following year you will not get the results because those employees will be too tired to give you the same result. So there should be the balance between the results and the process. I think in my MBA you read about the Harvard studies or Ohio studies and whatever, where questionnaires are sent, and all what they come to is the results should be secondary, satisfy the employee's needs, good working environment, good working processes, the results will come automatically.
Okay. The other small clarification, Your Honor, is about, there's a lot of literature, I'm sure you read it when you did your MBA, about leaders who fail to achieve the results because of lack of this concept now called emotional intelligence. Even though they are intelligent in terms of IQ, they are very good technically, but somehow they fail to achieve what they want because of lack of that. I would want to hear your views about that and whether your MBA helped a bit in that area, Your Honor.
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, emotional intelligence is something whereby the leader has to have that humility in him and be touched by the activities of his staff. During our MBA studies, there are those who fail. We are reading that the CEO of Microsoft, Bill Gates, will take 2 hours to respond to emails from his staff, who are 36,000 then. 2 hours just to interact with them. So that brings in the issue of emotional intelligence. At least you will be able to know the feelings and emotions of your staff. But if I come back to the results-oriented, we can be churning in judgments and reduce backlog for 2 years, and then the 3rd year, the backlog shoots up. And we have to go back to the drawing board what happened, what went wrong, because the leader came in with threats. If you don't do this, I'll take you to the JSC. There are no emotions. You are just there. Your emotions is, I want the results. So you don't care whether the staff is sick or not. So the leaders fail because they don't interact with the problems of their staff, because it's the staff who are producing these results. I believe I can stop there.
Very much. I just wanted to ask Commissioner Orwade whether you had any follow-up question on. Please.
Thank you, Chair. Judge, it's been a long day. I just want to maybe, as we wrap this up, ask you a few questions concerning some vetting that we've been doing. The Commission has wrote to certain vetting bodies to get information on all the candidates. And I just wanted to ask you a few questions concerning the information we got about you. In the job advertisement, you are required to give us 2 character referees. You gave us only one, who was in fact non-responsive. And I just wanted to know from you, is it that you don't know that many people who can vouch for your character, or why is it that you just gave only one referee?
A referee on character?
Yes, a character referee. You are required to give 2.
Whom did I? Okay, maybe it. I don't know whether it.
There was, I believe, Professor Eshiwani. I believe that's the one that you gave.
Oh, okay. I had not interacted with him for long. He retired from the university, but he has been my mentor. And I thought I was supposed to give just 3 referees, which I gave that one, and I gave 2 professors from Masinde Muliro. I don't know whether they responded because it was meant to be. But I gave 2 referees from Masinde Muliro University, Professor Matanga and Professor Okoth, who can vouch on my character. For the last 3 years I've interacted. I have so many people I can write, but you don't want to be seen to be bringing in your friends to evaluate your character. I believe you can be my referee, but I'm not saying that. You have known me for many years. So it's not that I don't have people who can be my referees, but I just thought any 3 could do, and I thought maybe, had you told me you are not able to reach Professor, I would have given another one.
We also got communication from the Kenya Revenue Authority that you are not compliant. And the communication we received was that the reason why you are found non-compliant has been communicated to you. Would you care to just shed light on the reasons why?
Okay, when you advertised, I went to them and they gave me the compliance. They summoned all of us, and KRA kept on picking each and every power bill you have, and then you go there and engage with them. So I sat down with them, and they said, because whatever is earned out of my salary does not come to me. I can provide the bank statements, whatever. I don't receive any rental income myself and put in my bank. It goes to my wife, and she deals with the KRA. But they could see that there are some electricity accounts in my name. So I sat down with them more than 3 times, and I have documents here. They told me, okay, for this one your wife is doing, it's okay, because it's being paid monthly. There was a time we didn't know that it's yearly, and we were penalized and we paid. So they said these other ones are not captured. We computed, and it came to a penalty of 512,000. I paid that amount, and I'm now receiving the generated computer demands. So when they were doing the report, they said since this is time bound, we will send the report, but with a rider that you have agreed to comply. So I expected that after I paid whatever I was adjudged to be due from 2018 to 2021, maybe they would send another reminder that now I'm compliant. But I'm ready to go back to them and ask. We have to give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. I'm not refusing to pay. In fact, I told them whatever is in my name, part of it does not belong to me, belongs to my brother. But since as a leader in the family, you have to take some of those problems. They say, but since the bills are in your name, we take it that it's your property. But we agreed. They had a higher differences, saying this number of properties. I told them send somebody there to count how many properties. So we agreed. I have agreed with them. I came to the Commissioner of Domestic Taxes. He had four officers. I was taken to opposite Radisson there, where the actual computation is done. I sat down with an officer by the name of Gideon. We came up with what is due. I was taken to another officer who would open the computer and open my account and post what is due, and then I was told to go and pay, and I paid. I can provide the payment evidence. I can provide the computations by the KRA itself.
Thank you, Judge. Then I take it that whatever issue KRA had with your tax compliance has now been resolved, and you should be able to get communication to that effect before we complete this exercise? Okay, thank you. And the other issue I was able to pick up from the vetting documents is your wealth declaration forms. We required you to file the last 3. You filed only 2. And you did not disclose in your wealth declaration whether you have bank accounts, which I presume you must have, and the balances in those accounts. At the same time, you failed to file a statement in respect to your spouse. Could you please explain to this commission why?
A misunderstandings of those instructions, because we have been filling these wealth declaration forms every 2 years. So I didn't know whether you were supposed now to fill 6 years back. Maybe if I can be told, we are in 2021, if I were to fill, I have the wealth declaration forms for 2017, I have a copy, and 2019. So I don't know whether that will suffice, or I have to go back and look for another one of 2014, because they are filled after every 2 years, I think, in my understanding. So when I provided the ones for 2 years, I thought they will cover, I thought they will cover the necessary period maybe you require. But I need your guidance. If you say go and get us the one you filed before, I will comply.
Yes, Judge, the instructions were that you file the last 3 wealth declarations, and that is why I asked why you filed only 2. And also, you are required to disclose all your assets. We did not see any disclosure concerning bank accounts or account. And you are also required to file wealth declaration for your spouse, or a financial statement for your spouse, and that did not accompany your wealth declaration.
I'm sorry for that. When I read the instructions, I thought when you file your wealth declaration, you have filed all the properties you have. But I can provide the bank accounts if I'm told for how long, 1 year, 2 years, if they're available. I can get them within a day or 2, and it's certified, because it's not something you generate, it's generated by the bank. You can counter check. For my wife, I need to know, do you want her bank statement, or do you want her wealth declarations? She's a civil servant. I have now to ask her to go and look for her wealth declaration forms and bring them. So if you tell me bring your wife's bank statement from point A to Z, I'll bring it. Bring your bank account, I will bring it. There is nothing to hide.
Thank you very much for that reassurance, Judge. We'll be looking forward to seeing the documentation that you've promised to avail before this exercise is over. Chair, thank you. I don't think I have any further questions.
Thank you.
All the best, Judge.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Orwade. Honorable Judge, as you know, we are compelled by the law to observe diversity. I even think you said that yourself. I should have asked you from the beginning, Judge, your county and also ethnicity, just for our records and to observe the requirement by the Constitution.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. I come from Kwale County. In form of diversity, it's one of the marginalized counties. And I'm Adigo by tribe. Kwale County has, Adigo is one of the 9 tribes of the Mijikenda. We are 9 tribes, so Digo is one of those 9 sub-tribes. I come specifically from Diani, which is Msambweni constituency, and division, I come from Ukunda division.
Thank you very much, Judge. And I think this brings us to the end of this interview, Honorable Judge. On behalf of the commissioners, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your patience. You have been very patient. I also want to thank you for your honesty and openness in answering the questions, Honorable Judge. And I'm sure the individual commissioners have heard you and they'll be making your decisions, and I wish you all the best on behalf of the Commission. Thank you. Anything you would want to tell us, Honorable Judge, or even to ask a question? This is your time.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to appear. I think it's an honor when you are given this opportunity to come and be one of the candidates. We don't take it for granted. So I wish to thank the Commission for having given me this opportunity. I've answered the questions to the best of my knowledge. There is the question Justice Majanja asked about general interests. I didn't know that he was referring to a specific guidelines being given by the court. I'll be honest enough, I've not read a specific judgment of the Supreme Court which gave those guidelines. So if I didn't answer your question, it is out of not having come across that. And I wish you all the best. It's a task which you have to do. We need a new Chief Justice. And all what I can say is may God give you the wisdom to pick the best amongst us. And I thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Judge. And,